Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful day today. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We are going to listen to this track, The Killing of Georgie, which I guess is in two parts technically, part 1 and part 2, but we're going to take it all together because I see that it's pretty much really just one track. Coming in at 6 minutes here. From Rod Stewart off of the album A Night on the Town, released in 1976. Excuse me, I just choked for a second. Okay, so I've heard the name Rod Stewart. I know the name, but I cannot tell you a thing about him. Even when I'm looking at like his top tracks, I don't recognize him. Do You Think I'm Sexy? Maggie May, All for Love? Is Sailing? No, Sailing is Criss Cross. Sailing, right? Isn't that Criss Cross? So it's more than likely that I do know something from Rod Stewart. I just can't tell you off the top of my head what that would be. So this track was recommended by a few of you. Let me pull your names up. Ubu76, actually Stewart 61, and then I don't know how to pronounce that. Pausanisis? I don't know how to say that. But thank you guys for the recommendation. Let's go ahead and pull up the track. We will talk about it after. I don't even know what kind of music Rod Stewart makes. I want to think out of my assumption it's like adult contemporary rock or something like that. But I'm really just assuming based off of what I know of the name. So let's dive on in. We'll talk about it after. Here we go.
In these days of changing ways, so-called liberated days, a story comes to mind of a friend of mine. Georgie boy was gay, I guess, nothing more or nothing less, the kindest guy I ever knew. His mother's tears fell in vain. In the afternoon, George tried to explain that he needed love like all the rest. Power says there must be a mistake. How can my son not be straight after all I've said and done for him?
Okay. Love that organ swirl.
Leaving home on a Greyhound bus, cast out by the ones he loves, a victim of these gay days it seems.
I love that quiet. That's nice.
Georgie went to New York town, where he quickly settled down and soon became the toast of the Great White Way. Accepted by Manhattan's elite and all the places that were chic. No party was complete without George. Along the boulevards he cruised, and all the old queens blew a fuse. Everybody loved Georgie boy.
Slight orchestration back to, and the whistling. That sounds wonderful.
The last time I saw George alive was in the summer of '75. He said he was in love. I said I'm pleased. George attended the opening night of another Broadway hype, but split before the final curtain fell. Deciding to take a shortcut home, arm in arm they meant no wrong. A gentle breeze blew down Fifth Avenue.
This is a great story, but obviously off the title, we already know kind of where it's going.
Out of a dark inside street came a New Jersey gang with just one aim, to roll some innocent passerby. There ensued a fearful fight, screams rung out in the night. George's head hit a sidewalk cornerstone. A leather kid, a switchblade knife, did not intend to take his life. He just pushed his luck a little too far that night. The sight of blood dispersed the gang. A crowd gathered, the police came. An on 53rd and 3rd.
The music is so upbeat, but as it's moving deeper into the story,
George's life ended there, but I ask who really cares. George once said to me, and I quote, he said, never wait or hesitate. Get in, kid, before it's too late. You may never get another chance. 'Cause youth's a mask, but it don't last. Live it long and live it fast. Georgie was a friend of mine. Oh yeah.
see, now it's a lot more melancholic. It's still there, the same things, just somber. I'm assuming this is kind of like the part 2, basically.
Oh, Georgie, stay.
Jeez.
Don't go away. Georgie, please stay. You take our breath away. Oh, Georgie, stay.
That is fantastic.
Don't go away. Georgie, please stay. You take our breath away. Oh, Georgie, stay.
That is good.
Don't go away. Georgie, please stay. You take
Man, that is such a beautiful track. That is not at all what I was expecting. Like, off of what I told you, right? My idea of what I kind of think about Rod Stewart off the little to nothing I know, I wasn't expecting like something like this. Incredibly powerful, great composition throughout the whole thing. This was completely different from what I was expecting. And the lyrics, the story is just heartbreaking. It's hard hitting. That surprised me. I wasn't expecting something so powerful and something with so much meaning. I guess really just based off of like the nothing I know about Rod Stewart. Okay, so first thing, I love how you really do distinctly have 2 parts. And in the first part, if we go back to it, it starts off with like this beautiful guitar and then the swing of, I don't know, maybe electric slide guitar or something underneath it. Like, it's wonderful, setting the story up about Georgie, right? Let's actually kind of take everything together, because story and music actually go very, very well together. Okay, so first it kind of sets the scene. In these days of changing ways, so-called liberated days, a story comes to mind of a friend of mine. Georgie boy was gay, I guess. Okay, I love the passe attitude. He's like, Georgie boy was gay, I guess. Cool, right? Shouldn't matter. Shouldn't mean a thing. Nothing more, nothing less, the kindest guy I ever knew. His mother's tears fell in vain the afternoon George tried to explain that he needed love like all the rest. Pa said there must be a mistake. How can my son not be straight after all I've said and done for him? When was this song written? 70, what did I say? 76. Now, I wasn't around then, so I can only speak from what I kind of know historically, but I'm pretty sure that, unfortunately, like, homosexuality was not accepted at the time, right? Or at least maybe it was moving in that direction where it was gaining traction of acceptability, right? So this must have been very hard, maybe, to be written about. I don't know, there's going to be historical context, but putting it out there, I love that. That's awesome. And then acknowledging a problem that a lot of people have when they're trying to come out of the closet. I have one friend, and I hate it, but like, he cannot come out of the closet to his parents. Like, they know, he know, but like, it's just that extra step. And it's very hard. You know, I can imagine, but I can't imagine. You know what I mean? So I think that that's incredible how it's written right there. And then the way that the music sets the scene, it's just kind of, let's say, normal. There's this beautiful, almost folk-like quality to it. It's like, just gorgeous. But what I really like is as we move into the next verse here. Leaving home on a Greyhound bus, cast out by the ones he loves, a victim of these gay days, it seems. Okay? So here's the transition. Georgie went to New York town, where he quickly settled down. Soon became the toast of the Great White Way, accepted by Manhattan's elite in all the places that were chic. No party was complete without George. Along the boulevards he cruised, and all the old queens blew a fuse. Everybody loved Georgie boy. So he finds that place of acceptance. He finds that, man, I can be who I am, right? And the music at that point, it just organically grows upon itself. Now we have backing vocals that are like beautifully, beautifully singing behind him. Harmonies that are like elated. Like the music becomes more live. The bass, the drums, they both kind of get into it. It's energized. It keeps the same color palette from the first verse, but just expands upon it and moves it in a more upbeat and happier direction. Perfectly capturing the emotion here, right? Obviously, the emotion's going to change soon. The last time I saw George alive was in summer of '75. He said he was in love. I said I was pleased. George attended the opening night of another Broadway hype, but split before the final curtain fell. Deciding to take a shortcut home arm in arm, they meant no wrong, and gentle breeze blew down Fifth Avenue. Okay, and then we get into, of course, the killing. Out of a darkened side street came a New Jersey gang with just one aim: to roll some innocent passerby. There ensued a fearful fight. Georgie's head hit a sidewalk cornerstone, a leather kid with a knife. He didn't intend to take his life, he just pushed his luck a little too far. That night, crowd gathered, police came, ambulance screamed to a halt on 53rd and 3rd. And then, the same way that second part became happy and energized, but kept the same color palette musically, does the same thing here. It keeps it, but now it is definitely touched with a more somber note. There's a melancholy that immediately undercuts the joy that was there before. I think that is so cool the way that they do that musically, how they keep the same chords, the same instruments, the same musical notes, all that stuff, but they just add something or take away something to change the actual feeling of it. I think that that's really good. That is awesome. And then after that, that's when, from basically, you can hear how it changes into part two. And it just becomes this pleading. This just is pleading from Rod. He's singing, Georgie, stay, don't go away. Georgie, please stay, you take our breath away. Like, it's an interesting kind of duality here, right? He's pleading Georgie to stay because, of course, if Georgie stayed, he would still be alive. Assuming, he would still be alive. But he wouldn't have been accepted wherever he was staying, right? As we had in the first verse with his parents. But when he left, he was able to be who he really was. But the trade-off, unfortunately, in this case, was that he was killed. Now, looking at that verse where he was killed, it doesn't seem that he was targeted for being gay. It seems they says the gang was with just one aim: to roll some innocent passerby. Just happened to be wrong place at one time. So it doesn't seem to be like a hate crime in this particular case, unless I'm missing something that makes it obvious in here. But I think that is an incredible song, like a wonderful way that's written with incredibly strong lyrics. There is a Wikipedia page for this one here. The song tells the story of a gay man who was killed in New York City. It was released as a single. That's awesome. It was released as a single, spent 10 weeks on the UK singles chart, reaching number 2. Reached number 25 in the Netherlands and 30 in the US and 33 in Canada. It says, Stewart explains that this was a true story about a gay friend of the Faces, which I guess is another band. He was especially close to me, but he was knifed or shot. I can't remember which. That was a song I wrote totally on my own over the chord of open E. When he was asked about writing a song with a gay theme, Stewart said, it's probably because I was surrounded by gay people at the stage. I had a gay PR man, a gay manager. Everyone around me was gay. I don't know whether it prompted me into it or not. I think it was a brave step, but it wasn't a risk. You can't write a song like that unless you've experienced it. That is wonderful. And I guess it borrows from a melody for the second part from the Beatles' Don't Let Me Down. Okay. John Lennon says, the lawyers never noticed. I love that. The lawyers never noticed. And listen, if anyone's going to notice a similarity between two songs, then the lawyers would be the one to pick up on that particular signal. But it does say obviously that this is based off of a true story and experience that Stewart went through. But I don't see anything at least that it was targeted. Like I said, unless there was something in there. But I think that is so cool how, I guess like he said, it's taking a risk in a sense, but not taking a risk to write that. He's just writing about his experiences, which I think is incredible to do that. That's awesome. That's a really great track. Definitely broke my kind of preconceptions that I had about Rod Stewart. Lovely one. Let me know what you guys thought of the track in the comments down below. Follow me over on Twitter. Support the channel on Patreon. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you all guys later. Bye, guys.